Alright, welcome to Q&A number 6 here at Wrestling Unlimited, the YouTube channel and the Facebook page. And you want your questions answered in a future Q&A video, you know the fucking drill, I'm not going to explain it, so go fuck yourselves. This Q&A is all about Chris Jericho. Let me first explain why. I figured now is as good a time as any because Tough Enough just started, he's the host of it. And plus, my friend, you may know Alec Costavel, some of you from WPW probably know him. He just went to a WWE house show, and Jericho just happened to be in the main event. So I figured, why not do one? It'll probably get a good response, and it did get a good response. So that's why I did it. So let's kick this Q&A number 6 Chris Jericho themed off with Matt Britton, who asks, Jericho, short hair or long hair? I think he was better with long hair. I do too. And to be fair, there would be no Jericho with short hair if there was no Jericho with long hair. Where is Ralphus now? Oh my god, a Ralphus reference. Oh man. Where is he? I have no idea, but would it be great if he just made a return? Just once. Just a one-off, and Jericho comes out with Ralphus, and he continues the list, the 1,004 holds list. Oh my god, that would be fucking spectacular. Who, in your opinion, has been Chris Jericho's greatest feud? A personal favorite of mine would be any feud of his with Shawn Michaels, especially the one in 2008. But in terms of his greatest feud, probably maybe his feud with Triple H in 2000. I think that gets flown under the radar a little bit. Maybe his best feud is his feud with The Rock in 1999. Depends on your perspective, but a personal favorite of mine is any feud with him and Shawn Michaels, especially the one in 2008. Tyler Harper, favorite Y2J match? To think off the top of my head here. My favorite Y2J match. Oh, you know what? His match against, excuse me, his match against Christian back at WrestleMania 20 in 2004. That's a personal favorite of mine. Deshaun Tasker, do you see Y2J ever returning to a WWE ring? Probably. Maybe just a one-off, put a guy over, kind of like he did with Fandango, which we'll get to in a few minutes, actually. Walter Main, what would you say is Chris Jericho's best match? Well, I said my favorite match, which was against Christian. His best match. This is tough. Best match. Yeah, I might just go back to him versus Christian. I mean, in terms of a wrestling match, like a pure wrestling match, with not really a huge story behind it, just two guys going out there and having a mid-card WrestleMania Classic match, a very underrated match, I would go Chris Jericho versus Christian, honestly. What would you say would be his best promo? God, he's had so many of them. His debut promo would probably be his best. A personal favorite of mine would be when he's talking to Stephanie McMahon and Rhino in the ring. I'm gonna get that slimy, sweaty, filthy beast, and I'm gonna get you too, Rhino. Fucking hysterical. Have you ever listened to Fozzy? They're good. I saw them live once. I've never listened to them. Or if I did, I just didn't know it was them. I'm not a huge Fozzy fan, based on the fact that I just don't listen to them. How much would you pay to have a light-up jacket like Jericho's? Uh, decent amount of money. You know, for those of you who bash the light-up jackets, something different. You all love different shit, so he comes back with something different and people complain about it. I don't get it. What was your excuse me? What was your favorite time period for Jericho? I think his heel run in 2003 would be my favorite, or even his heel run in 2008 would have been my favorite. In terms of his best time period, would probably be late 2001, early 2002 when he became Undisputed Champion. Or maybe even late 99 when he debuted. Tyler Baumler, what would Chris be like today if he didn't defeat The Rock and Austin to become the first Undisputed Champion? You wouldn't really have a recognizable accomplishment to give to him, like when the commentators talk about John Cena, they automatically bring up that he's a 15-time world champion. When you bring up, like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the first thing that comes to mind is Hall of Famer. And, you know, if you take that away from Jericho, you really don't have much in the way to talk about. Do you really want to mention that he's a 9-time Intercontinental Champion? Especially considering the IC title is the most irrelevant it's been in its history. You know, you pretty much just throw that out, and Jericho is basically nothing. He's a mid-card champion then. You know, if you say he's the first Undisputed Champion, that's a good feat to say. That's a good accomplishment to gloat about. That's a good accomplishment to describe Jericho with, because that is a monumental feat that no one has ever accomplished, ever. And he was the first, and as of 2015, the only, to become Undisputed Champion. And you could throw 2011 in my face all you want. Fuck you. Al Costival, do you think that the list of 1,004 holds will ever be completed? You know, if they ever induct Dean Malenko into the Hall of Fame, if he's not in there already, it would be funny if Jericho inducted him and then he continued the list, or vice versa. If when Jericho is inducted and he just comes on the podium and is like, I have my list of 1,004 holds that I never finished. Oh my god, that would be great. Is Chris Jericho's debut the best in WWE history? It's one of them. I don't know if it's the best. It definitely is up there. Why not? I'll throw. I don't have one that comes to my head, so yeah, I'll put that up there. Donnie Johnson, how legit was the beef between Jericho and Goldberg? I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just being honest. I don't know. I guess it was legit enough for Jericho to talk about it, or for Goldberg to talk about it, or for you to bring it up. I have no idea. Christopher Rubio, did you enjoy the Wyatt Jericho feud and matches? Excuse me. The matches, no. The feud, not really. Also, the decision to have Jericho win at Battleground, that was dumb. I thought that the finish of that match was stupid and poor. It really didn't accomplish much. It really didn't. Okay, great. Bray Wyatt got a victory over Chris Jericho. What the fuck did he do after that? What did he do after that? Exactly. What are your favorite Jericho matches of all time? I know we did. My favorite match would probably be him versus Christian back in WrestleMania 20. Another favorite match would be the unsanctioned match with him and HBK back at Unforgiven 08. A really good match that was a little bit underrated would be SummerSlam 2012, him versus Ziggler. That was a good match. Had some story behind it. For once, something involving Dolph Ziggler has story behind it. In terms of other favorite matches, the match when he faced Triple H for the title on Raw, and then Earl Hebner came in to ref. That was the time when he was on probation, and they reversed it. That was a favorite of mine. Oh, fuck. Since we're mentioning Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 19, Jericho versus HBK, probably the greatest mid-card WrestleMania match in history. Probably. Maybe Angle versus Michaels is up there. But Jericho versus HBK would definitely be on the top of the list. Will he be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Yeah. When, I don't know, but will he? Probably. I mean, look who they have in now. Would you really not have Jericho over Drew Carey and Coco Beware? Exactly. I rest my case. Raymond Johnson, excuse me, closes this Q&A with 3 questions. Ever tried to look up Jericho's theme music just to sing it right? Yes, and that never stopped me from singing it the wrong way. What was the point of having Jericho put over Fandango at WrestleMania 29 if WWE wasn't going to do anything with him afterwards? It's very simple, because WWE knew Chris Jericho would do the job. That's pretty much why it was set up. Excuse me. That's pretty much why the match actually happened. That's pretty much why they had the WrestleMania match. I was at that WrestleMania. Oh, God. I mean, even when Fandango was making his entrance, I couldn't take the fucking dude seriously. I mean, every time he came out, it was like, all I thought was Johnny Curtis. And Johnny Curtis was probably the most plain, boring superstar that I've ever seen. And then you give him a stupid gimmick after that in Fandango, the dancer. Great job, WWE. But yeah, to answer your question, only reason why Jericho put him over at WrestleMania 29 was because they knew Chris Jericho would do it. That's about it. And can you see Jericho doing one last title run with any title? You know, maybe one run with the IC title just to make it his 10th. But I don't see him holding a world title. I definitely don't see him holding the tag titles. No, not the US belt either. But if he ever came back for a title run, give him the IC belt for the 10th time. I mean, why the hell not? It brings at least a little bit more relevance to the championship just because you have it on Chris Jericho. You know, I think that would be fine. But again, I don't see him going anywhere past a mid-card belt. Or if he did come back, who's to say he gets a championship shot of any kind? Probably won't. He'll probably come back to put over a new star, and then they do nothing with the new star. See Fandango. Thank you, everyone, for sending in these Chris Jericho-themed Q&A questions. Next Q&A is Friday. I'm not sure of the theme yet. I might actually make it unthemed. I will let you know in the next couple of days. Thank you.